So this session, IM implementation, is designed so that you as a PLC can develop a plan for implementation. You can build your calendar and start deciding how you're going to pace out the lessons and do instruction for NTI. If you would like Casey or I to be present to answer any questions with your PLC, just email me at sarah.downs@jefferson.kyschools.us and to set up a time, and we can do that, and just be there to bounce questions off of and ask for additional resources. So things to think about for building your IM implementation plan is pacing. We want to be sure we're finished before state testing, if we have state testing this year. What lessons will need more support based off of math than our experience with IM, because most of us are in our second, third year of implementation. And then the use of those pre-unit assessments. That will help us determine if we need to build any scaffolds or other supports along with our reentry plan from last year. You also need to think about when you're going to give assessments and then provide corrective instruction based off of the misconceptions from those assessments. And then what lessons might you combine to create the big ideas for a week's worth of learning for NTI. I'm providing a calendar for you to start pacing out those days. When you download the copy, it will take you to this calendar, and it has all the days marked out for you so that you know when we'll be in school with students and when students we will not have students. So it has it for the whole year so you can start planning out your year. Before you begin planning, I want to draw your attention to our JCPS K-12 math site. Go to NTI, and here you're going to have a ton of NTI resources. There's one in particular I want to show you before you begin planning. If you go to the bottom, go to middle school and your IM adaptation page. Here we have the adaptations that are recommended from Open Up Resources and Kindle Hunt. Again, it doesn't matter which program you use, both of them have the same material, and both packs have information that are helpful for planning. The Kindle Hunt recommendations, there's these section level planning guides that I'm going to show you that will be very helpful for NTI. In addition, a lot of the activities in 6th and 7th and 8th grade are already in Desmos. So if you go to Desmos and search the title of the lesson, a lot of those activities will already be developed for you. But when I go into Open Up Resources, Unit Overview Guides, they provide you an overview, and then it starts talking about Unit 1, lessons you may need to add, lessons you can remove or modify, and it does a modified pacing guide for you. What I really like about this is it gives you the lesson, it tells you the importance level, so if it's high, medium, or low, and then it talks about where in asynchronous and synchronous sessions for NTI it could possibly go. So a deep dive session is most likely going to be your synchronous sessions. So these are your live classes with students. So if I'm planning the first couple of lessons, it looks like lesson 2 and unit 1 is a deep dive. So that one I'm going to want to have a synchronous session with my students, a live class with them. The explore, play, discuss, and synthesize and apply, those are easily adapted to asynchronous learning. So it kind of tells you that Unit 1 and Unit 1 Lesson 1 and Unit 1 Lesson 3 can both be adapted to present asynchronous sessions for our students. It continues down for the entire unit and provides you that information to help you in your planning. After Open Up Resources, we have the Kindle Hunt recommendations. And Kindle Hunt has recommended them in 3 different levels. You have the adaptation pack for pacing, your Cooldowns, it talks about your Cooldowns supports, and then section level planning guides. It also has teacher planning videos, which will be very helpful for you as well. When I open, I come here, then I can click on my adaptations, my Cooldown supports, or my section planning guides. Within the curriculum adaptations page, it will tell you the essential prior concepts to engage with this unit and a narrative of the approach, lessons to add, lessons to remove or modify, and then it goes through the pacing guide based off of their recommendations. And you can see here in Kendall Hunt's version, which is why I said you're probably going to want both adaptation packs, it has the previous grade level material built in and lessons from the particular units that will be appropriate scaffolds to enter the grade level material. So here it says in lesson 4, we need to go back to 6th grade, unit 2, lesson 5, because if the initial assessment shows that students are not familiar with equivalent ratios, this activity from that lesson is good to scaffold in to help them enter grade level content. And then you have these section guides. I really like these section guides. So this is grade 7, unit 1 scale drawings. And this is only talking about lessons 1 through 6. And it talks about scaled copies. And why I like this is because just like Open Up, it has the Explore, Play, and Discuss. It has the Deep Dive. Let me pull that back up. It has the Deep Dive. And then it has the Synthesize and Apply. And it shows you right here that these deep dives are going to be best for your synchronous session. A lot of them will say synchronous discussion so that you can provide the synchronous session for your students. In lesson or 6th grade, it has it specifically stated here for you. So I really recommend you using these to help you determine what's going to be synchronous and what's going to be asynchronous. Most likely your deep dives are going to be your synchronous sessions. So here I need to do a synchronous session for lesson 2 and lesson 3, and then these are the assessments I can use to help me determine the formative assessment along the way. Last but not least are our cooldowns. So if I go into the grade 7 cooldown, it has each lesson and the support level for that cooldown. So lesson 1 means I'm going to have more chances to learn the big idea for lesson 1. So I don't need to reteach that lesson. But then here in lesson 2, it says points to emphasize. If students struggle with corresponding angles or sides in the cooldown, plan to revisit vocabulary when opportunities arise the next several lessons. So it tells you if they're struggling here, the next several lessons you need to emphasize this, because that will help to prepare them for that benchmark assessment. And then down here at lesson 8, it says press pause. So what that's saying is you've had these chances and you've emphasized these points. If students are still struggling, now we need to stop and do some type of scaffold or mini lesson to help those students who are not getting the concept. All of these adaptations are on the IMNTI adaptations page, which you can find on our JCPS K-12 math page. I hope they're very helpful in creating your IM implementation plan. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Casey and I are here to support you, and we will do what we can to get you what you need. Thank you.